Pickled beets may make a great made in advance side dish that you can pull out and serve at a moment's notice. So you just take the beets, I have that cut the ends off, and then you're going to peel them, and you want to cut them into eighths. Don't worry about the fact that your cutting board looks like, and your knife looks like you murdered somebody in your kitchen. That's just the way it is with beets. All right, so I like to roast them first because it gives them a little more depth of flavor. You know, you get that nice little roasty taste to them. And then the reason I cut them up, I mean, you could roast them whole, right? I mean, you could. But the reason I cut them up is because I want every piece to have that bit of flavor on it all the way around it. Not, you know, I don't want to have a middle or anything like that. All right, so I cut these all up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit them with some olive oil. All right. First, some olive oil. Toss that around, and then some salt, like so. Just make sure you get salt all on them, all on all the pieces, and then just pick a spice or an herb mix that you like, whatever whatever you feel like putting on it. I have a little something here that I think I will work really nicely with these beets. Again, how much do you put on? Enough. You put on enough to make sure you've got some of that on every piece. Okay, and toss them around. I'm going to put a little bit more. Make sure I got all those ones that were on the bottom initially. Then I'm just going to put them on this pan, and I'm going to roast them in an oven at 375 degrees until they're cooked through. Pieces this small, I don't know, 15 minutes, something like that, but just pay attention to them. It depends on what your oven does. I want to throw these in, and then we're going to come back. All right, so they've been cooked. The way to test them is pick some of the pieces up and put a toothpick in it. You should get some resistance, but you shouldn't get like a ton of resistance like that, like it's hard. So then when you're done with that, and I've let these cool enough that I can handle them, you're just going to stick them in a jar that's at least large enough for however much you have. If it's a little larger than what you have, that's fine. So I got that. And then from that point, what I'm going to do is add a couple things. I'm going to add a couple cloves of garlic, and I'm going to add some black peppercorns. Oh, that's maybe 20. I don't know. I don't really measure that. Then we're going to add the vinegar, and you don't want straight 100% vinegar. So what you want to do is put in about half and half red wine vinegar and water. Okay, and that'll be around the right concentration to get a good pickling on it, but not make it overwhelmingly tart. So that's pretty much, actually, I'm going to leave this with the lid off for a while. I'm going to let it cool down to room temperature. I'm going to cover it. I'm going to refrigerate it for at least 24 hours. But pretty much once you've done that, it's for as long as forever. So once you have a chance to pickle, we'll come back, we'll give them a try. Okay, so we let these sit in the fridge for a couple of days, and then I also decided to take them out a little early. You don't want them too cold, right? You really want them served kind of like at room temperature. So I'm going to give this to Donna. Now, by roasting the beet, I actually intensified the sweetness, the natural sweetness with the oven caramelization, and get that pickling liquid to give it a nice bright acidity from the vinegar, but I didn't have to add sugar. The beets are naturally sweet.
Yeah, no,
So
there's a lot of sugar in beets.
yeah,
They're
and
good.
you know, a lot of people when they pickle things, they always add a little bit of sugar
Mhm.
to it.
This has like a bite to it, a little.
That is from the pepper. There
Mhm,
was peppercorns in here and also garlic
mhm.
in here that were put in, and so you get a little bit of that, the hint of the garlic and the pepper. You wouldn't necessarily say that's what it's got, but it's got, like you said, a little bit of
Yeah,
heat.
it's a little heat.
Right. And then, of course, we did use a spice blend. And so the spice blend is going to, whatever spice blend you pick is going to be a little bit on the forward side, and you're going to be able to taste that in there.
Yeah.
And so, did you like them?
Well, of course.
Okay.
Right. I like the crunch. This is different from most of the pickled beets that
Because you
I
buy them in
buy.
the jar and you buy them in a can, and they're
Right.
completely cooked
Mush.
through. But of course, that's part of the thing is that it's the canning process,
Yeah.
right, to preserve. These will last for a really long time, but they have to be refrigerated. You can't just put them up on the shelf or something like that because they haven't gone through the formal sterilization process. But they'll last. I mean, they're pickled, right? So there you have it, folks. Some roasted pickled beets. Give them a try. I hope you'll enjoy them. We'll see you next time.